Well, hey, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Bible Podcast presented by Saint Church. My name's Caleb, and our hope is to help you study the Word of God every single day. Every day, we're taking time to upload episodes on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube, where we read a chapter of the Bible. We look at the context it was written in, and we see what it has to say for us today. Today, we're going to continue to do that by reading out of Leviticus Chapter 3. Now, before we dive on into that, if you're checking this out on again, Apple, Spotify, or YouTube, and you end up enjoying it, take a moment to subscribe, follow, leave a like. All those things really do help the podcast, help it to get to more people, and help them to know it's worthwhile checking out. Now, with that being said, we're just going to dive right on in and continue in our study on the book of Leviticus by continuing to see the instructions that the Lord has given to the people of Israel as they were seeking to know him and honor him in worship. Now, again, some of these things you might say, Caleb, this doesn't apply to us all today. That sort of a deal. Why does it matter that we read it? It matters that we see the things that God had asked of the people, because we're going to end up seeing God's faithfulness, as they are not always faithful to what he asked, but also it helps us to have perspective that says, Jesus, we thank you for the fullness of everything you covered as we look to here, and we end up seeing all the things that God had asked them to do, and ultimately Jesus fulfilled for all of us. Now, with that being said, again, let's just dive in. Leviticus chapter 3, starting in verse 1. Let's see what the word of God has to say today. If your offering is a fellowship offering, and you offer an animal for the herd, whether male or female, you are to present before the Lord an animal without defect. You are to lay your hand on the head of your offering and slaughter it at the entrance of the tent of meeting. Then Aaron's sons, the priests, shall splash the blood against the sides of the altar. From the fellowship offering, you are to bring a food offering to the Lord, the internal organs and all the fat that is connected to them, both kidneys with the fat on them near the loins, and the long lobe of the liver, which you will remove with the kidneys. Then Aaron's sons are to burn it on the altar on top of the burnt offering that is lying on the burning wood. It is a food offering, an aroma pleasing to the Lord. If you offer an animal from the flock as a fellowship offering to the Lord, you are to offer a male or female without defect. If you offer a lamb, you are to present it before the Lord, lay your hand on its head, and slaughter it in front of the tent of meeting. Then Aaron's sons shall splash its blood against the sides of the altar. From the fellowship offering, you are to bring a food offering to the Lord. Its fat, the entire fat tail, cut off close to the backbone, the internal organs, and all the fat that is connected to them, both kidneys with the fat on them near the loins, and the long lobe of the liver, which you will remove with the kidneys. The priest shall burn them on the altar as a food offering presented to the Lord. If your offering is a goat, you are to present it before the Lord. Lay your hand on its head and slaughter it in front of the tent of meeting. Then Aaron's sons shall splash its blood against the sides of the altar. From what you offer, you are to present this food offering to the Lord, the internal organs and all the fat that is connected to them, both kidneys with the fat on them near the joints, and the long lobe of the liver, which you will remove with the kidneys. The priest shall burn them on the altar as a food offering, a pleasing aroma. All the fat is the Lord's. This is a lasting ordinance for the generations to come. Whenever you live, you may not eat any fat or any blood. And that is the close of Leviticus chapter 3. Now, okay, a lot of offering, a lot of different specifications. Today, what I want to do, again, it's a little bit different because every chapter we're going to be seeing some of the same things. Today, what I want to do is talk to the reality that within these sacrifices, we are seeing them listed out, and in some ways it feels like you might have even thought that I repeated myself, because it feels like the Lord just keeps saying one whole thing and then he has another thing, and it's the exact same thing. Now, in this case, I think it's important to acknowledge the Lord is bringing clarity to these sacrifices, and that's a good thing. This was in some ways even like a manual of sorts, that you would look and you would end up saying, okay, we got lamb. What do we do with lamb? Okay, we got goat. What do we do with goat? Okay, we got a cow. What do we do with a cow? You just go through all these different things, and God is continuously bringing clarity. He's bringing clarity, and he's allowing them to understand exactly what they are to do. What does this show us? It shows us that God did not leave any excuses. He did not leave any excuses when it came to the offerings. He was specific, gave great clarity, and he gave them clear instruction that made it so that they knew exactly what they needed to do. So for us today, what do we have to understand? That God in Leviticus is giving a lot of instruction about worship, and he's giving a lot of instruction about what he expects of them and what he's asking of them. So what should we expect today? that although it looks different, God has given us clarity, God has given us instruction. We just have to be willing to listen to him. And the Israelites, did they always offer these sacrifices exactly how the Lord asked? No. We end up seeing a lot of times that they ended up handling things differently, that we see them end up stepping outside the law and all of those things. So for us today, is there grace in the reality that we struggle to honor Christ in all the ways he's asked us to? Yes. And that's good because we need the grace of Jesus. Yet let's not be naive to think that God has not asked things of us. Let's look to the book of Leviticus and not see it necessarily as our current model for how to worship, but let's see the intentionality behind it and realize that there are things God has called us to, and let's do them well and let's do them faithfully. With that being said, you guys, that's all I got for you today. So thanks for jumping on. It was a short episode, but we're continuing in our study and all of that. If you ended up enjoying this episode, finding it insightful in any way, make sure to subscribe, like, leave a follow, all those good things. But with that being said, thanks for jumping on today, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow because we're taking time to study the Word of God every single day.